to work on feature points extraction. So multiple perspectives we will discuss in this session. So in today we are having three different sessions. So and in each and every session we will cover about OpenCV and different perspectives. One query is there as far as Facebook dataset is concerned. In yesterday's session also we have covered it, that Facebook is not providing real-time data because of so many privacy issues, because of so many data leakage issues happened earlier. You can extract real-time data from Twitter as we have seen yesterday. You can extract data from Amazon, Snapdeal. You can fetch real-time data from Myntra using web scraping, using Tumblr also. But currently Facebook APIs are banned to extract the real-time data. Okay. So as far as WhatsApp is also concerned, from WhatsApp also you cannot fetch direct data. However, using specific APIs, you can go for that. For WhatsApp data extraction, we can use Node.js, Node-RED, and your YOSUP library. In Python, there is a library with name YOSUP, YOWSUP. YOSUP library can be used. Okay, so by this way we can work with. As far as free flowing of data is concerned, we can get from Twitter, Tumblr, and e-commerce platforms. And from e-commerce platforms, only reviews can be taken. Okay? So by this way, you can explore it. And if you need some particular code, you can separately mail me for web scraping. I'll send you the code separately by mail. Okay, so that we can communicate. So we were discussing about OpenCV. Dear participants, okay, is it audible to all the participants? Are you getting the audio and presentation? You can confirm in chat. Okay. So as far as digital image and video processing is concerned, multimedia data analytics is concerned, there are so many packages available. There are so many platforms available. But generally from last so many years, specific platforms are used. If we go for research and development, you might have seen that most of the researchers use MATLAB. In MATLAB, there are so many toolboxes for image and video processing. Okay. But major issue with MATLAB is that it is proprietary software, it is very costly software, and many researchers, many scholars take the pirated copy of that. So obviously that is not ethical as well as illegal also. Okay, and one more thing is there. When we go for digital image and video processing using MATLAB, then we are not having so much flexibility. Okay, as MATLAB is not free and open source. Okay, even if we are able to purchase the license of MATLAB, even then we are not able to customize the source code. Suppose you are working on a particular algorithm for denoising, segmentation, or image watermarking, image security, or feature points extraction. In that case, we have to write the complete program to develop a new algorithm. If we are Obviously, in MATLAB, we are having the algorithms, the inbuilt functions like shift, surf, all these functions are already available. Okay, feature matching can be available, CNN is also available via toolboxes, but we cannot view the source code. We cannot modify the source code. If we want to create a new algorithm for denoising, for blurring, or for anti-blurring, in that case, we are stuck many times. In contrast to MATLAB, nowadays many researchers, many practitioners are using free and open source platforms for image and video processing, for computer vision applications, and OpenCV is one of that very powerful platform, very powerful library for computer vision. It is freely available, fully free and open source. Whether you are working on biometric data set, or you are working on satellite images, or you are working on GIS data set, real-time webcam images, or video files of different formats, each and everything can be programmed. Each and every type of file related to multimedia segment that can be analyzed using OpenCV. And you can see its base programming, its base code is written in C and C++. But it doesn't mean that we have to code only in C and C++. The APIs or interfaces of OpenCV are available in multiple programming languages. If you are already working in Python, its APIs are available in Python. If you are already working in Java, then you can integrate OpenCV with Java. Okay. MATLAB, Scilab, Octave, Ruby on Rails, .NET. So whatever platform you are using, even with PHP also, even with JavaScript also, this platform, this library can be integrated. And in case of OpenCV, what is the major benefit? That all the algorithms, all the programs are available in free and open source distribution. As you can see, more than 3,500 optimized algorithms are available in this platform, OpenCV. So which type of optimized algorithms? Whatever you can think in image processing and video processing, all algorithms are already available in OpenCV platform. If you are working on face recognition, if you are working on image segmentation or key feature points extraction, feature points matching, or you are working on image forgery, we will take different examples of this. First of all, I am making you comfortable in this particular platform, which features are available in OpenCV, and after that we will start the implementation part. We will see how to code for OpenCV, how to code in OpenCV. So if you are working on any classification problem, any regression problem, or any face recognition issue, or if you are working on any bioinformatics data set, all algorithms all existing algorithms are available in OpenCV in multiple languages. If you need a code, if you need a particular source code for image features matching for random forest approach, that code is already available in OpenCV. If you are working on Gaussian blur on a particular image, that particular code is available in OpenCV in different programming languages. Its C code is available, its Python code is available, its Java code will be available. So, what is benefit of using OpenCV? Whenever we work on any research-based problem, when we work on any research project, there are two parts. Whether you are working for any minor project or major project, there are basically two parts. In research-based implementations, first of all, we have to implement the existing algorithm. First of all, we have to code for the existing approach. Suppose I am working on face recognition using support vector machine. Suppose this is my research area. Using support vector machine, I want to work on face recognition or biometry. If I will use MATLAB or any other platform, proprietary platform, in that case, first of all, I will have to code for the existing approach. I will have to code for support vector machine on my data set. So, how much time will be wasted in that to implement any existing approach? To write a complete algorithm, to write a particular pseudocode, and then we will code it, then we will get its results. And after performing all these things, then we go to proposed approach. Because until and unless we are having the code of existing approach, we are not able to modify it, we are not able to generate the code for proposed approach. In existing approach, there are some mathematical formulas. In existing approach, there are some algorithms. So we have to modify that algorithm of existing approach to get new results for proposed approach. If I use OpenCV, in that case, I will not spend time in coding for existing approach. The time to write code for existing approach will be saved, because random forest approach, support vector machine, artificial neural network, your convolutional networks, each and everything is already programmed. Only I will have to put my data set. So existing algorithm implemented in different languages are available in OpenCV. And once I'm having the code of OpenCV, then I can simply modify it. We can directly view the code. We can check its different constructs, different blocks, and then we can generate a new code. We can generate new outputs. And then from new outputs, we can find out the performance of newly generated results. Okay, I'm showing you the official website of OpenCV. This is the official website of OpenCV. OpenCV.org. Is it visible to all the participants? Are you getting this screen? And nowadays, many researchers, many professors, many scientists are using OpenCV for their research projects. suppose you are nowadays, what is the trend in academics? As you all are faculty members, nowadays, as far as cash is concerned, as far as the promotion is concerned, as far as your career growth is concerned, it it is more focused, it is more dependent on the research projects which you have taken from DST, which you have taken from AICTE, or which are delivered by MHRD. Okay. Nowadays, the scientists, professors who are taking research projects in image processing, in video processing, they are using OpenCV. So you can also go for very good research projects using OpenCV with integration to some hardware like Raspberry Pi, Arduino board. You can create, you can develop your own drones. Suppose if you, as we have discussed now, that OpenCV is free and open source platform. Okay. If I take an Arduino board, the cost of Arduino board is 400 rupees only. Okay. In that case, what I can do, Arduino board, within Arduino board, I can install OpenCV. In 100 or 150 rupees, 150 rupees, I can take a webcam. So if I integrate a webcam in Arduino board that is installed with OpenCV, OpenCV is free, there is no need to pay anything. So what we can do, we can create some real life applications for traffic monitoring in only 500 rupees, 600 rupees. We will be having a very good research project. Within OpenCV, all algorithms are available for vehicle detection, for face detection, for criminal detection, for cyber forensics. Different applications are available, different algorithms are available. No need to code, or you can customize it. If you want to create a new algorithm, you can customize it, you can generate a new code. So from webcam, real-time images are coming, real-time images of number plates, real-time images of vehicles, or real-time images of human beings. And then those images are matched with the trained data sets, with the trained model of OpenCV. And OpenCV is already available in Arduino board. We can install it. In very few minutes, it will be installed. In Raspberry Pi, you can install it. So by this way, you can propose some very good projects, very good research projects for real-time traffic detection, real-time suspicious object detection, real-time human motion detection, gesture detection. All these things can be directly integrated, can be directly implemented using OpenCV. Okay, in very less cost. And you can see it is compatible with Android also, Android, iOS, cross-platform library. Okay, and its complete documentation is available. You can see different manuals, tutorials, and everything is available. So there is no need to worry that from where we should read it, from where we can go to it. Okay, and you can see these are key feature areas, main application areas, and these are few of these. There are so many applications available which are already programmed in OpenCV. That is your 2D or 3D feature toolkits. It means in three-dimensional space, you can find out the feature points. If you are working in augmented reality, virtual reality, that is AR/VR applications, these features, these functions are available in OpenCV. Ego motion estimation, facial recognition, gesture recognition, human-computer interaction, robotic applications, multiple camera-based interaction. All these things are available in OpenCV with high performance. So if you are working in any of these domains, if you are doing research in any of these domains, and these are very few, so you can see AR is also available, AR, VR, more than 400 domains are available, and thousands of algorithms already programmed. So we can directly take those APIs and we can customize the source code. We can directly modify the code to take new outputs. And you can see that wrappers for multiple programming languages are available. So for multiple programming languages, we can have it in Perl, C++, Java, Ruby on Rails. All these are available. And as far as machine learning algorithms, deep learning algorithms, these are concerned, statistical data analytics is concerned on digital images and video. These are also available. So if you are working on decision tree, gradient boosting trees, KNN algorithm, naive Bayes classifier, support vector machine, random forest. So these libraries, these platforms, these algorithms are already integrated in OpenCV. Okay. And one more thing is there in case of OpenCV, it is by default compatible with CUDA platform. CUDA platform means that is your compute unified device architecture. If you are working on a huge data set, if you are working on high performance computing application, that can be worked out using OpenCV. So anything that is related to computer vision, real-time image-based data analytics is concerned, all these are programmable and can be analyzed using OpenCV. Even with mobile platforms also, you can work with this. So as far as the installation of OpenCV is concerned, it is available with Anaconda, with name, with title, that is your CV2. As one query is there, if you want to work for an algorithm that is done, that is worked out by the researcher, yes, that can also be searched out. It is having a rich community. Okay, rich community is there with OpenCV, and these source codes you can take from GitHub. Okay. So if I see whether CV2, whether OpenCV is available in my system, then we can install it. Import CV2. If you are working on Google Colab, that is also okay. If you are working on Jupyter in standalone mode, that also you can work out. So it's up to you on which platform you are working. Okay. So if I show you a very simple code, a very basic code for working with OpenCV, by which way we can work with it. So you can see that this is Python code. I will show you other codes also if you want to see other codes. So you can see import CV2. So this we have to install, or you can directly paste it in your platform. Okay. So import CV2, or in Anaconda OpenCV. You can directly search it. In traditional installation, it is available. OpenCV is available with your Anaconda. If it is not available in your Anaconda, then you can execute this command. This command we execute conda install -c conda for OpenCV. Okay. In Anaconda prompt, we execute this program, this particular instruction, and then your OpenCV will be integrated. Okay. But otherwise, if you download and install the latest version of OpenCV, latest version of Anaconda, then OpenCV will be available with it. Okay. So you can see computer vision and machine learning software library. If you want to see different codes, that is also available. Its source codes are available. Okay. So if we analyze the programming part, which type of coding or what is the standard of coding in this is concerned. So you can see that import cv2.imread. In MATLAB, what we do, in MATLAB we directly, in case of MATLAB, what we do, simply imread, and if we are using this cv2, yes, I am repeating that point again, the complete source code of different implementations of OpenCV is available on GitHub. GitHub is a repository of different source codes of different source distributions that you can work out, and with free and open source distribution, there are so many researchers, there is a rich community which upload their source codes on GitHub. Suppose you need a particular source code for image matching or image forgery detection, that can be done. Is it audible to all the participants? Please confirm in chat. Are you getting the audio clearly? Please confirm in chat. Are you getting the audio? Because some participants are saying that audio is breaking. So in case of MATLAB, what we do, we directly use this function imread and imshow. Okay. In case of OpenCV, first of all we import this package cv2. Yes, cv2 will be common for all platforms, and cv2.imread. Then what is the image? Any type of image you can take, and cv2.cvtcolor. In case of MATLAB, what we do, I'm writing it here. In MATLAB, what we write, RGB to gray. This function we use. Okay. Are you getting the audio? Please confirm. Are you getting the audio? Because some participants are saying some issues in sound. All the participants, are you getting
The audio is fine, sir. No issues.
Okay. Okay.
I'll just write it in the chat box. If anybody is facing that issue, kindly do. I'm writing in the chat box. Kindly do that.
Okay. So in case of MATLAB, but we write RGB to gray. In CV2, in OpenCV, but we write this CVT color. Okay. CVT color and this color underscore BGR to RGB. Okay. Suppose I want to convert this image to grayscale, then I will write here BGR to gray. Okay. Now, as you can see that this is your, I am converting this particular image. So first of all, I will show that image. This is your image that I want to convert. Okay. Now this is the image that I have read that we are analyzing. I am putting this in this. Okay, anyway. So CV2 dot color underscore BGR to RGB. In case of OpenCV, there are two variants of RGB color format, and which is not available in MATLAB itself. Okay, I'm writing it here. In OpenCV, there are two variants of RGB. One is RGB and second is BGR. Okay, both things are same. Red, green, blue, blue, green, red. Both are same. The main thing is intensity. So in case of RGB, if I'm, you can see that in case of MATLAB, there is nothing like BGR. In MATLAB, we use only RGB. But in case of OpenCV, what we can do, we can use its reverse version also. The reverse version means, in this case, in case of RGB, the highest intensity will be given to R. The highest preference will be given to red color, and then to green color, and then to blue color. Okay. If we are taking BGR color format in OpenCV, in that case, highest priority, highest intensity will be allocated to blue color, green color, and red color. Okay. So that's why we are taking this thing, that color underscore BGR to RGB. Now we want to make it reverse, so that highest preference should be given to this color format RGB, that is traditional format. Okay. And as PLT matplotlib we are using here, and within matplotlib there is a package pyplot, and this complete matplotlib with pyplot is renamed as PLT. Okay. So plt.imshow. If I'm not using as, in that case, I will have to write it like this, but it will be very, very hectic. Okay. If I do not use PLT, in that case, we will have to do it like this. Otherwise, this is the simplest method. Okay. And after that, suppose I want to write the new image in this format. If I want to write the newly formed image to a new file, then we will specify this .imwrite. So in case of OpenCV, every time we have to use this CV2 dot. Okay. Now if I execute this code, so now you can see, if I execute this, you can see this is the code, but this is the actual image. So I think you can see that in very few lines of code we can. So I'm not using any MATLAB. We are using the open source platform. So we have not used NumPy, so we can remove it. So import the library and yes. So any other image also you can take. Suppose I want to take this google.png image. Like this. And then I take that image as it is. Now you can see the difference between VGR and RGB. If I am taking this, if I have commented this particular VGR to RGB, then this is the image. Now if I am uncommented, then you will see the intensity. Now are you able to see the difference? That to which color the preference is given? This red and this blue. So you can see the diversion. Which particular color is given more intensity? Which particular color is given more preference? Okay. So you can take any real-time image also. You can see that with RGB, this particular color becomes R. So last E is in R color. Okay. So you can see that reverse is there. So same thing we can implement here. But without this, now you can see this is your VGR and RGB. And this feature by default is not available in MATLAB also. In that we have to write function, in that we have to perform some implementation. But it is available in OpenCV by default. Okay. And as far as the path is concerned, the location of images are concerned, these images can be placed in the folder where this Python code is available. So my Python is available in this date folder. So this image is also available in this date folder. So both of these images, both of the image as well as Python code, these are available in same folder. If we do not specify in same folder, then we have to simply write the complete path. You can see that this test underscore write. Now this image is automatically created. Okay. So after performing the manipulation, after performing the operation on image, we can write that image in a new file. Okay, is this point clear to all of you? This is very basic, how to read and write a particular image. This is very simplest. This is the very beginning of OpenCV, that how to simply read a particular image and then how to plot it. Okay. Now if we see another implementation, you can also check in your Jupyter or in Spider whether CVT is installed or not. So you can check it with this instruction, import CV2. If next prompt is there, in that case it is available. Otherwise we have to install it by Conda Forge. If we see another scenario, So what is the meaning of pointers? This in any image, if we want to find out the edges, if we want to find out the sharp edges, and using those edges, we want to mark the specific demarcation lines. We want to mark a specific area, that which particular edges, which particular points are identifying this particular image uniquely. Okay. So for that, what we can do, simply open CV2 with this particular function, import CV2, and this image we can read directly. We can read the image. Okay. In same way, suppose we want to convert that image in grayscale, you can directly convert it. So if I open that code again, okay, before that, suppose I want to convert it to BGR to gray, okay, before that, so you can see that how much it is easy, BGR to gray. And to that particular grayscale image, in which color combination in RGB, what we want to specify, in which particular color we want to find out the edges, and you can see that this algorithm find contours, this is already available. So if I want to see its documentation, so its complete source will be available in this. I can see its complete documentation is available, that its C++ code is available along with that mathematical function, because many times we are interested in the mathematical formulation. Okay. So this type of contour. Okay. So this type of image formation will be there. So you can see in docs.opencv.org. So this is your actual image and this is your contour image, and this one is your C++ code. Okay. So if you are working on C++, you can copy this code and you can integrate in your device, or you can integrate in your existing implementation. So you can see this. Okay. Now, is it visible to all the participants? Are you able to view this documentation, OpenCV documentation? Is it visible to all of you? Are you getting the audio and this screen? This is the URL. Now you can see, is it visible to all of you that C++, Java and Python. So you can see that all source codes are available. If I want to work in Python, then simply copy this code and I can work with this. Suppose I am working in C++, so click on C++ and you will get C++ code to find out the contours. If we are working in Java, then you can see in java.awt.border layout. So in case of Java, we have to work with this package, import org.opencv.core.code. Okay. Because Java is also a package-based programming language. So you can see this complete documentation source code is available, and simply we can copy this code and paste it in NetBeans or Eclipse or whatever platform you are using, and you can directly work with it. In Python, Python Coding. So you can see it's complete implementation. If I want to see the function, find contours, which are different parameters, because many times the participants are interested and in different attributes in different input parameters. So what is meaning of offset, what is meaning of hierarchy that we are placing. So each and everything is mentioned here. Okay. Which particular mathematical formulation is done. And in case of, suppose I want to work on a particular real-time webcam image. Okay. In that case, suppose I want to find out pointers of my image as I am sitting in front of the camera, as I am sitting in front of my webcam. Suppose I want to find out the contour of my webcam images, my webcam videos. In that case, what we do, in case of OpenCV, there is a function, inbuilt function, video capture. Okay, OpenCV video capture. So using video capture function, you can directly capture the webcam images. So I'm showing you that also. So you can see that this is CV2 dot video capture. If I execute this function, CV2 dot video capture, automatically real-time images from camera will come. Automatically real-time contours from the camera will come. So if I integrate this particular code in Raspberry Pi, in Arduino board that is having OpenCV, then automatically it will take the images from traffic lights or from that particular location where I will install that particular board. Okay. Suppose I am working on object detection, then automatically from real-time webcam, the camera, videos will be captured, and then that particular operation will be implemented. Okay, so as you can see that CV2 dot video capture 0, as in my laptop there is only one camera, so 0 index, first camera. In different public places you might have seen there are multiple cameras. Suppose in a restaurant there are 20 cameras. I want to capture videos from 13th camera, 13th number camera. So CV2 dot video capture 12, CV2 dot video capture 17 to capture image videos from 18th camera. Okay, I will show you this demo in its demonstration also in next session. That will be from your 12 to 1:30. Okay, how to capture real-time videos from webcam, and I will show you that demo also, that how to work on real-time feature extraction from webcam images. Okay, from I will use my webcam that is installed in this particular laptop, and then you will see. Okay, so if I want to take 9th camera for real-time videos, then 8. So as in my system there is only one camera, so 0. In that case, automatically your video capturing will be started. Okay, so by this way we can start working with this particular thing with OpenCV platform. And if I show you some other things also, so suppose this is the image, this is the actual video. Currently I am showing you in Broadway, and in next session I will tell you its code also. So now you can see that this is the actual video. If I want to work on background subtraction means, suppose I am developing a research project for defense. I am developing a research project for police investigation authorities. And for defense or for investigation authorities, I want to work on a project that will analyze the movement of persons in night. So suppose I am working on night vision devices. In night vision devices, I have nothing to do with this particular car. I have nothing to do with this particular pillar. I want to analyze which these people are moving. Suppose I am working on a research project that which type of people are moving, which particular type of people are in motion during lockdown, okay, in night time. So obviously in a prohibited time, if some movement is there, then by which way we can analyze? If I show you its demo by code. So that was the actual video, and this is the image. This is the video of moving objects. So whosoever is moving, so it may be your border area where some terrorist movements can be analyzed. So we have nothing to do with the pillars. We have nothing to do with the with some trees. We have to do with object detection which are similar to human, and those people are moving in a prohibited area and in prohibited time, in banned time. So these type of implementations you can do in very less time, in 10 to 15 lines of code, in 5 to 6 lines of code, like this. So you can see that this is your actual code. Sorry, this is your background subtraction. Then it will remove all the objects, all the still objects. Only it will check which people are moving, which specific motions are available similar to human being, and in 5 to 6 lines of code, in very minimum lines of code you can perform in, and also in real-time camera images also you can perform it. In real-time webcam images also you can perform these implementations. So I will tell you these things about how to perform all these things, and I will share all these source codes to you whenever we will complete this particular thing. Okay. So you can ask your queries. Actually, it was a very basic session just to make you comfortable in OpenCV. And in next session, we will take some other scenarios, some other examples, and then we will perform some other implementations. You can ask your queries in chat box. You can put your queries. You can ask your queries.
So right now no question is there. If anybody has any question, please go ahead and write it in the chat box or raise your hands. I'll directly unmute you.
In next session, I will tell you how to work with webcam images, how to fetch real-time image, real-time feature points from webcam, and how to train the features, how to work on face detection. So 2 more sessions are there for OpenCV. So we will cover each and everything step by step in very comfortable way.
So there is one question from Dr. Prakash Parikh, sir. How to check whether CV2 is installed in Jupyter Notebook?
Yes, yes, CV2 is also installed. It is already installed.
Next question from Hari Mohan Rai, sir. Sir, how it can be applied in MRI images?
Yes, for as far as MRI images are concerned, for that we can go for feature points detection, and in the feature point detection, I will go to plan feature detection. Either you can go for Harris score, or you can go for feature point detection for plan detection. So multiple algorithms are available. You can go for it.
Sir, he's saying that he's struggling to show 3D images using CV2.
3D images. Okay. For to work with 3D images, we have to take we have to work with AR and VR integrations, and that particular library is required to be installed. So I will tell you, I will mail you separately which particular library will be required to be installed.
Next question from Mr. Harsh Bansal, sir. Can you explain the contours code once?
Sir, I'll send the code contours and all the source code with complete documentation. In very less time, it is very difficult to explain the code line by line. Okay, so whatever I think that this code can be explained in short time or in limited time, that I will explain it.
Next question from Virendra sir, how to connect GPU with OpenCV?
Yes, that can be integrated with OpenCV. If you will have GPU in your system, that yes, OpenCV will automatically detect it. In OpenCV, there are functions to call GPUs.
Next question from Virendra sir only. What are erosion and dilation in OpenCV?
Yes, that I will cover in upcoming sessions. All these things I will cover.
Next also, what is HAR cascade in OpenCV?
These things also I will cover. Dear participants, I request you to please confine to the session only. So actually, I have not covered HAR cascade till now. I have not covered erosion and dilation, all these things. So I will cover in upcoming sessions. Actually, because of the time constraint, each and everything about the image and video processing can't be covered. So I will make you comfortable in this particular tool, this particular platform, and I will try to cover so many things. Okay, so if you are working on a specific project or on your own research project, that you can ask separately. Okay. Because in image processing and video processing, there are so many functions available.
So next question from Mr. Irfan Ahmed Sheikh. Which one is best, OpenCV or MATLAB?
OpenCV is better actually, as OpenCV is free and open source, and there is no need to install any other package. You can directly install it. There is no dependency on any platform or hardware or software. Okay, MATLAB is proprietary. We have to purchase the toolboxes.
Dr. Prakash Parikh is asking, can OpenCV interface with Scilab?
Yes, OpenCV is having interfacing with Scilab also. In Scilab, there are two packages. One is SCICV and second is SIVP. Okay, both of these you can integrate. SCICV is for Scilab computer vision and SIVP for Scilab image and computer vision. So these two packages we install in your Scilab to work with OpenCV.
Sir, no more questions as of now.
Okay. So I again request participants, all the participants, that if you are working on a particular research problem, on a particular research project, or on a particular algorithm, and you want to ask that, and which is not covered, which is not touched in this particular session or in upcoming sessions, you can ask separately. Because in that case, what will happen, you are working in that thing, but others might not be working on that particular domain. So in that case, I will assist you definitely, but confined to these sessions, we have to take care of all the participants. Okay. And as far as code coverage is concerned, many times the participants ask to explain the code line by line. It becomes very difficult to explain each and every line of code. So I can show you the source code and its broad explanation. As far as the explanation of each and every parameter is concerned, it becomes very difficult because these things will move to the bookish knowledge of image processing. Okay, and in that case, many contents will be left out. So please, I request participants, some specific participants, not to ask to explain the line of code.
Sir, one question from Tanaji sir. Can we do all the things in OpenCV which can be done in MATLAB?
Yes, definitely. In OpenCV, we can perform all the implementations which are available in MATLAB.
Fine, sir. So we can have the break now. So you can tell that how much time you want to give for break, because some of them are saying we can start the session at 11 and finish early, or we should start at 11:30 to 1. So you can tell how to go about with the things.
So timing, we can keep the timing same from 12 to 1:30 just to have the break.
Sir, it's 11:30 to 1.
Okay, yes, 11:30 to 1.
Fine. So we'll meet at 11:30 now.
Okay, fine.
Okay, thank you so much.